I'm Heidi with Self-Grounded Therapy. Today I'm going to talk about what's going on in our world, racism, white supremacy, trauma. This isn't new. It's been happening since our country was created. Our country was founded on racism. I'm not going to try to give you a description of what's happening or what's going on. Surely if you've seen anything, you have the awareness. But what I'm going to talk about is overwhelming emotions, particularly as a white person, and how you can actually help yourself so that you can help others. This isn't about being white it is about being white, but I know that sometimes when we're overwhelmed with emotions, we get stuck. So that's what I'm really talking about. And no matter what, if you are white or if you're a person of color, if you're black, if you're Latino, if you're any person, when our emotions become overwhelming, it can be hard to stay with ourselves. But I'm speaking from my experience, from experience as a white person, and I don't pretend to know what black people need, and this is why I'm directing this more towards people who are white, because we are needed. We need to stand up, we need to take action, and we need to take action that impacts people, of color, that an action that stands for them. We have to do better. We have to do our own work. We have to continue to do our own work. So one thing I've noticed is that sometimes we want to fix a problem and we want to fix it now, and we think that we can just do one action, and then when things kind of die down, when the news around George Floyd and is not in our everyday news feed anymore, we can kind of go on and yay, we think we did something. But this is a long journey. It's a journey to continue to deepen into understanding the racism, white supremacy that lives within us, the ways in which it's embedded in our systems. We have to know that. We have to lift up our own awareness, and we have to also gain clarity around how we can change our systems and do better. So something that can happen that I've experienced even in the last couple of weeks is there's so much energy and so many emotions that I get overwhelmed, and they feel so close. They're right here. And there's nothing wrong actually with that. We need to know our emotions, but when they become so overwhelming that we are unable to make any kind of move or action and we get lost in them, that sometimes can slow us down in the process of this long journey. So shift your mind. This is a long journey. It's a continued deepening into understanding, into awareness, into action. So wherever you are, know that that's okay. And know that you can continue to deepen. That likely there's things that you don't know. And we can't all know everything. So take what you do know and then continue to be with that and deepen into your own experience so that you can be the kind of person you want to be for other people, so that we can really lift up the pain, the hurt, of other people and do something different. So long road. This is a long journey. This is not a overnight kind of thing. So just try to get your perspective on, okay, it's a long journey, it's a long road, so what can I do today? What's the next step for me? Keep taking the next step and don't forget. The second thing is overwhelming emotions. So when we get overwhelmed, this often happens when we have our trauma gets re-triggered and it comes up in us, and we have many parts and they all have so many emotions and so many feelings, and then it just is too much, it's overwhelming, then our system shuts down. We shut down to protect ourselves from the overwhelming feeling, or we get lost in the overwhelm, and that can make it challenging to show up for yourself or to show up for anybody else. So here's something that I have found that has been helpful for myself and for other people to help them ground so they can actually create a larger space for the emotions, because we don't want our emotions to go away. They're important. They're telling us things. They're helping guide us. If we're angry, that's great. Of course we're angry. How could you not be angry? If we're sad, of course we're sad. People are dying they're literally dying. Of course we're sad and angry about that. Likely there's some guilty parts there, particularly if you're white, feeling guilty about the fact that you have privilege, or feeling guilty about the fact that you can sometimes step away from feelings and emotions about racism because it doesn't impact you every day. But it does impact you every day. You live in this society. It impacts you every day. It's just how aware are you of that? So when all this is coming up for us, what I have found most helpful is to ground. So something you can do is you can take several deep breaths when you're feeling really overwhelmed. Breathing helps to expand the space in your body. It also helps to trigger systems in your body that can help you calm and relax, so that you can actually create space and be with the emotions that you're having. So you can breathe and then focus on your body. Feel yourself sitting, laying down, wherever you are, standing up. It doesn't really matter, but focus on your body while you breathe. And then imagine that there's a bigger space. So create a larger space for all of your emotions. So instead of having them right here, literally think like, okay, I'm going to put you all out here, and then extend it out. I sometimes actually imagine a big ball or a energy field, something like that, where my emotions can be, that they're still my emotions, they're still with me, they're still connected, but they're not here. They're here. So creating this bigger space, because when they're here, you can actually see them, name them, know what they are, know why they're there, and what they're telling you. When they're here, you just shut down and you can't see them clearly, but when they're here, you can actually see it. So helping that space get bigger. And this sometimes can also be a helpful thing if you have somebody to help you hold that space. You can think of this space between you and that person. The space in between you is holding all of this, everything that's happening for both of you. That can also sometimes help alleviate some of the overwhelm. You can also call in supports, guides. I'm talking about literally imagining if there's people who are supportive in your life, or people who really help you hold a certain emotion, or if you have any religious traditions or faith, and there's any kind of faith ancestors that you'd want to bring in, you can call them in and ask them to help you hold this space, help you connect to your values, to what's true and what's deep for you, for all humanity, not just for you, but really what do Black people need? And this isn't about us fixing racism. I mean, we do need to work on that and we do need to fix it, but I'm not saying that we as white people do all of it, but we do need to do much better than we're doing. So that's just one way in which you can ground yourself to create a larger space, because when you can create the larger space, the idea is that you can start to get some clarity around what's happening for you and where to act. There are so many resources out there, lots of books, lots of studies, people who are having conversations about racism and white supremacy. There's so much information, and I'm going to list some of those resources on my website so they're easy to find for you. So really the call is to do your own work. Do your own work and be committed to changing the systems that we live in, because they're not working. They were built, though it's not that we have a broken system, it's that they were built this way. We need to do something completely different. I know other people have been saying that too. I am guessing that there's something in this video that I said that didn't appease somebody. It's hard sometimes to say all the right things, and that's okay. We all come from different places. Continue to know what you need to do for yourself, to call yourself into some kind of action. Whether that action is investing your finances, your money at businesses owned by people of color. Invest in them. They matter. Show them that they matter. Vote with your dollars. Actually vote, and vote in your local elections. Know what you're voting for. Vote for your values and your morale. Vote to raise up people. Just vote your values and know what you're voting. So actually do some research. And keep on the journey of deepening and knowing yourself deeper, so that we can bring more clarity, more gratitude, more love into this world, that we can act out of that place of clear seeing, clear knowing, that wisdom space where we can love in a deep, deep way. Leave comments below. What action are you taking? What are you going to do for yourself, for others? See if you can commit yourself to at least one action. One. Start with one and keep building, one step at a time. Leave comments below. What are you committing to?